Show me in this application where it says you can't ask for more jobs.
I'll bring the application to you, sir.
Please, because this is just wrong. This is just, we'd rather buy equipment than create jobs.
Again, sir, though, I'd like to correct the statement that you made about the fact that when we did this analysis between New York City and ourselves, the cost about the amount of money that we've expended versus the number of jobs that we've created, New York City is expending about $89,000 for every job that they've created, and we've expended $91,000 for every job that we've created, and it's about comparable to San Francisco.
How do you do that math?
You do it based on, this is the amount of money that you've spent, and these are the number of jobs that you've created. It's not based on the award, because we don't have that money in hand. We can't create jobs when we don't have the money in hand. We create jobs when we expend the money. We've expended the money at the same rate that New York City has for every job that we create, and the same with San Francisco. It's a difference of $2,000 per job.
So, but they're claiming 27,000 jobs, and we're claiming 380. I don't get it.
Well, sir, we can go into the CAO's memo, but I think that's explained in detail about that. 15,000 of those jobs are teacher jobs that were able to be retained because they received...
We need to retain jobs. The mayor's just called for a layoff.
But those are teacher jobs that the school district receives. So if you'd like to have the school district...
What difference does it make?
Well, it makes a difference because you're saying that we're responsible. We're not responsible for retaining teacher jobs.
But we are responsible for retaining cops and firefighters and librarians and...
That's right.
Street servicing guys.
And New York City is closing 20 fire stations because they don't have enough money to pay their firefighters.
Well, can you imagine if they didn't get the ARRA money?
But they're not able to use the ARRA money for that.
So then why do you use that as an example?
To make the example that all cities are facing this problem. That they receive ARRA funds, but they're not able to use those ARRA funds to backfill their budget problems, and they're having to face laying off people, just like we are.
You just said that the New York used the money to retain teachers.
Correct.
That's backfilling.
Right.
Which side of your mouth am I listening to here? The portion that says we can retain or the portion that says we can't?
Well, we don't have the teachers. The school district does. So the school district used their money to retain their teachers.
We can't retain librarians?
No. There's no funds for that. There were funds for teachers. And then the other part of it, the state passed through the Medicaid relief money so that they could shift 5% of their funding over, and they retained 10,000 hospital workers.
So you're telling me that in this grant today, that is being considered today, we could not apply for more than one new job creation?
I'm not saying that, but I don't know.
Can you expound on it to give me an idea of what they could have asked for? Because I'm trying to focus on job creation, and you keep fighting me on this point. I asked in this application, you know, why was there only one job created in a pool of millions of dollars?
Let me just ask. I think you may have to have a meeting with Mr. Alarcon and explain.
I already met with him. I want to have a meeting in public.
Because what I understood in the proposal is the bulk of the money was to buy the 2,800 computers.
Yes.
And the cities.
Now that creates jobs, but we don't get the credit for those jobs.
No,
I'm sure somebody's making those computers, and hopefully they're being made in the United States.
The purpose of the grant, Mr. Chair, is to address the digital divide.
Yeah,
to bring communities into the digital world. How do you do that without getting a person to sell it to the community?
Well, I think the issue is that what I understood about it, this grant is to buy equipment, our matching funds and such from the library and such as to get those computers installed. Then it's my understanding that the people that work in the libraries and the rec centers and those worksource centers are going to be responsible for the uses of the equipment and attracting people into their facilities.
We could have used those jobs. We could have used this application to create positions, to do outreach functions, so that we don't have to lay off those librarians.
What?
Now, wouldn't it be ironic if we get this grant and then we have to lay off the librarians who are supposed to do the outreach?
Well, my understanding is that, if in reading it, is I don't think there was money for positions
Yes,
that
there
they-
was.
well,
Yes, there was. That is patently untrue.
Okay,
There
well,
was
I
money
didn't see
for
that.
it. You had the ability. It wasn't the primary focus. I grant you that. The primary focus was the computers. But there's nobody who knows anything about the digital divide who will tell you that you can't use human beings in that process. The administration understands the digital divide.
I know, but I think the issue, what we're saying is that where these computers are going, there's staff on those locations that will.
Who are being threatened
gonna-
with layoffs. That's
Well,
exactly my point.
But I'm saying the issue is that those locations are the ones that are going to be, just as they are now, attracting people into their facilities from libraries, rec centers, and things of that nature. So that's what I understood. But if there's a need for more clarity, I think we've asked you to bring that back.
Sure. Yes, sir. And I think maybe the department, when they come up and make their presentation.
But let me just say that if we can get, are you finished your?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right.
Mr. Marks,
CA,
yes.
do we have any?
Bill Kreitz, the CAO's office, sorry.
Okay.
In the interest of time, I'll be very brief. We don't have any applications that were submitted to the federal government for funding since the last ad hoc committee. I just briefly will say that we have, since the beginning of the ARRA project, we have now submitted 148 applications for almost $1.5 billion. Obviously, we've not been funded for all of those, but we do have 81 grant awards for almost $600 million, $591 million, and we don't expect a grant application to be submitted for the following week between now and the next ad hoc committee. And that would conclude my presentation.